I guess the next story is me, which is kind of silly. So, look, one of the things that we've seen over the last, I don't know, couple months, couple weeks, really, I guess maybe even the first year, we heard Donald Trump talking about Greenland. Greenland, right? We want to acquire Greenland, and I guess there's stuff happening over there, and I guess it makes sense or whatever. But
Greenland is white for American quay.
yeah, have you, Kirsha, you ever been to Greenland?
No.
I have. I've actually been to Greenland before. And I wanted to, I realized that a lot of people have not been to Greenland. And I was there several years ago when I was streaming for another brand. And part of that was we threw darts at the map, and I ended up going to Tasselik, Greenland. So I thought I'd share kind of what that looks like and my experiences by going to Greenland on your timeline. So I posted this the other day with a couple pictures. I said, as the only person on your timeline probably who's actually been to Greenland, I can say that it's exactly what you think it is. Cold as balls and extremely isolated. The people are very nice. And by the way, seal tastes like pot roast that's been in the crock pot for 3 days too long. So
You ate seal?
oh yeah. Yeah, yeah. Listen, when you go
But they're so cute.
it was also dead. It wasn't like gnawing on its tail as it's like looking at me going, please don't eat me. Like
I mean, that's what I imagined in my head.
just this little seal just like, no.
Craig's like, I have to. It's for the content.
So I went there. You can see it was, we went to this tiny little town. It was the third largest town on the eastern border, or I'm sorry, no, the eastern side of Greenland, which if this is the third largest town, I mean, it's like 700 people. There was nobody there. All the buildings are bright colors, reds, yellows, blues, because they don't want them to get lost in the snow from the winter. That's why everything is so bright over there when it comes to this. We went to a big old ice cave, which I've kind of shared that story in the past. It was terrifying going out there.
How deep an ice cave did you get? Caving is fascinating to me, but I don't think I would ever actually do it.
This was a fairly surface level. I'd say we went in, and it was just a really beautiful experience when we went. It was about 45 minutes outside of the town we went on, and it was truly an experience. I nearly died on the trip out there, but that's another experience for another time.
No, you can't just say you almost died and then not tell us about it.
Well, let me just say this. On the way out, I didn't like, I would say I nearly caught hypothermia on the way back, and there was definitely some near-death experiences. Let me kind of give you just a quick rundown on this, right? So in Greenland, we had, this is a town that is away from other towns, and when you have a tour guide, they're like, hey, you want to go see this ice cave? Okay. People from another town come in on their snowmobiles, and they take you to said place. Now, as you see on this, we were on a cove here, like a bay, and this is where the water stops. And they're like, well, listen, it's on the other side of this bay. So what happened is we actually went. By the way, this is all frozen here, so you could just drive across the bay. They said, well, look, the ice cave's on the other side of the bay. Just go over there and we'll go. Well, what they actually meant was the ice cave is not on this side of the bay. It's actually like way over here, 45 minutes outside of the city, outside the bay. And we went out there with these guys who didn't speak any English. The communication was very minimal. And
what do they speak?
Greenlandic? I don't know. I have no idea.
I was like, what do they speak in Greenland?
They did speak a little bit of English, but their communication between them was their foreign tongue. But on the way out there, the snow kept, like, it was fairly clear on the picture that you saw there, but snow kept picking up. And the TLDR of it is we went over some patches of ice that they didn't know if they were actually frozen or not. And they just like kind of guessed. And then they're like, well, I think they'll be able to make it over. And there was like water spraying up that we were just going over this really thin ice. And as we're, it was
scary.
It was very scary. It was very scary. Anyways, it was a very fun experience and something that I thought would be really, really cool to do. And the response to this post was like, wow, that's really cool. So I actually we made a documentary, and I say we, I mean the guy that I used to work with. I remember we hired somebody to create a documentary out of it. It didn't do very well, so the guy I worked with took all the footage we had and sliced it together into a documentary of us going there. It was 2 hours and 7 minutes long, and I was like, well, look, nobody's seen it. It's been like 6 years since we went, so I just posted the whole thing over on X for people to watch, and I was like, well, if it was a really fun experience, whatever. And unfortunately, you are not allowed to watch that anymore, as the media was disabled in response to a copyright strike from my previous business partner.
That
which
seems
was
incredibly petty for him to do, especially if it's like it didn't really take off, it didn't get a lot of views. Like, I don't know, that seems really petty, man.
Well, those are your words. And I'm not going to say whether I disagree or agree with you. But I'll say this: it was very intriguing to see. So yes, my old business partner actually copyrighted. And here's the thing, right? In a situation like this, look, as I said, I know that there has to be at least like one person who's interested in watching this documentary, which by the way is available for free on YouTube, that they just hadn't gotten around to it in the last 6 years. So hey, this copyright strike is totally justified and definitely, as I missed a word here, definitely not a petty thing at all.
If this had happened to me, right? Because like women are just the embodiment of pettiness.
Mm-hmm.
I would immediately start figuring out how I could revoke rights from him for publishing because my likeness is in the video. And if he's going to be petty enough to strike me for putting out a video that I'm a part of, mm-hmm. I'm going to figure out how to counter the petty, right?
Well, I'm glad you mentioned that, Kirsha, because what I'd like to announce right now is that very soon I'll be doing a live reaction stream to that entire documentary where it'll be extremely transformative content where I stop and I provide my personal insight, creating it a fair use opportunity for everybody to watch.
Hell yeah, buddy.
I'll make sure to do that very, very soon. Strictly from a journalistic standpoint, I feel like it's important for me to share my experience outside. Yeah, it's very, very important. It's
your experience, and no one can take your truth away.
Now, with that said, I do feel like I'm a good sport, and I included the link down below so he can cash in on all of that sweet YouTube money, which apparently he very much needs right now. So you can go watch it for yourself if you like, and then later at a later time, I will definitely be doing that live stream reaction to said documentary, providing my personal thoughts on said documentary, and watching that with you guys. Once again, creating a transformative fair use experience to share with everybody. I would also like to point out, as part of this documentary, after I provided the link, normal men have gone over and posted comments, which I am not encouraging you to do by any means. Do not do that. But it's really interesting because the person who actually copyrighted this, he's just some dude on the internet who, whatever, right? He actually felt the need to kind of justify why he did it here. Oh, and he posted in the comments, which I won't share because it includes his name. It says, "I'm in this. I shot most of the footage. Took over hundreds of hours of time to edit. Took over 100 hours of my time to edit it and oversaw the project. I hope you enjoy watching it." And then he felt the need to preface it that it says it has made $53.11 in AdSense revenue since 2019. To which the response to that by Most Hated Donut is, "You copyright claimed it on Twitter over $53.11.
Yeah, right. Like that doesn't help your case, guy. That makes it worse. What are you doing? What do you actually do? Like if it wasn't you, if it was like some random person, I'd be like, yeah, that makes sense that he might have DMCA'd it, regardless of how long it is, regardless of how poorly it performed. But like, you're fucking in it, man.
Yeah.
Like that's ridiculous.
Well, look, when I was bought out of the company, right? He does own it, and that's fine. But like I still have the opportunity to transform it as I see fit. So there we are, and I will be doing that someday soon. And I'd like to thank everybody for your support and courage in supporting me in this manner. And we saw the wonderful super chats that came in. And I think the best thing that I could possibly do in the situation is monetize the fuck out of it. So let's freaking go. So love that. Expect an announcement very soon on that.
Let's hope maybe you can make $54 off of that. That'd be great, wouldn't it?
Well, one thing that I do think that is missing in that is that we raised money from the community to go. So by him saying, "Look, I've only made $54.11 off this," that totally discounts the $28,000 that was raised to go on that trip through the community.
That's true.
So, you may want to include that in there if you're being fully transparent. So anyways, so I'd like to thank everybody who donates $54.11 in advance to that stream. So, hey, YouTube said you should watch this video too. Obey the overlords.